What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trust the Profits here on YouTube. I'm your host, Colin Shee, and this is our Kentucky Derby Spotlight Series. In this video, we're going to take a look at Grande. Every year in the Kentucky Derby, there seems to be a contender who arrives with just enough talent to be dangerous, but maybe not quite enough buzz to dominate those headlines, and that's maybe where you can get a nice price. This year, that horse might be Grande. He's lightly raced, well-bred, and quietly handled by Hall of Fame connections. Enters the Derby as a wild card with serious upside. Let's take a look at his profile. Ridden by Johnny Velasquez, trained by TODD PLETCHER, a combination that has struck in the Kentucky Derby before, most notably 2017 with Always Dreaming. Talking about pedigree, Grande is the son of Curlin, your two-time Horse of the Year, who excelled at those classic distances, winning the 2007 Breeders' Cup Classic and the 2008 Dubai World Cup. And as a sire, Curlin has produced numerous standout performers in the Triple Crown races. That includes Palace Malice in the Belmont, Derby and runner-up and Preakness winner Exaggerator, and of course Good Magic, who's also had some success as a sire, who ran second to Justify in the 2018 Derby. Curlin's offspring are generally built for the distance. In fact, over the last 5 years, Curlin's progeny are 10 for 69 at a mile and a quarter, which is a respectable strike rate given how demanding that distance is. Grande's dam is Journey Home, adds even more depth. She was a stakes winner and ran second in a Grade 2 at Churchill Downs. You can't overlook the success over the Churchill Downs track, because there's horses that like it. That can be advantageous when you get to the Kentucky Derby. Her family includes multiple graded stakes winners. This is a $300,000 colt bred for that big stage. And when we take a look at Johnny V and TODD PLETCHER, just unbelievable. You see the long list of horses that they've brought to the Derby. Velasquez is one of the most decorated jockeys in the sport. He has 3 Kentucky Derby wins to his name: Always Dreaming in 2017, Authentic in 2020, and the Medina Spirit in 2021, although was later disqualified. He's ridden the Derby 25 times, finishing in the top 3 5 times. Johnny V knows how to navigate this race a lot better than most. And TODD PLETCHER, meanwhile, has 2 wins in the Derby: Super Saver in 2010, and then, as we mentioned, Always Dreaming. Beyond the wins, he's had 65 starters in the Derby with 2 seconds and 4 thirds. Modonigal was 5th in 2022. Bluegrass Cat was 2nd in 2006. Those are some examples of some late developing types who outran expectations. The Pletcher-Velasquez combos are proven one. They're smart, patient, and they're dangerous, and they know what to do when they've got the right horse. So where does Grande fit in? We'll take a look at Grande's performance in the Wood Memorial as we bring this up here. He only has 3 career starts, a rarity for a Kentucky Derby horse, but he broke his maiden and then won an allowance race before heading straight into this Grade 2 Wood Memorial. His equibase speed figures have steadily improved, 88 to 89 and then 106 in the Wood. And in that last race, it was much better than it looks. He's number 7, blue and orange silks of Rapoli. You can see him in the back there, but he is wide this entire race. In fact, he runs 17 feet more than the winner, yet he still manages to run second in one of the fastest Derby prep races this year. That extra ground matters. In a 10-horse field or 20-horse field, 17 feet can be the difference between winning and losing. Even more impressive were his closing splits in this race. Grande covered the final 3 furlongs in 37.24, and in the last furlong in just 12.51. So if you're a believer in those final fractions theories, Grande does check those boxes. Those are some elite numbers for a lightly raced horse. And to top it off, his average speed in this Wood Memorial clocked in at over 40 miles per hour, and there's only about 2 or 3 horses that can say that. Here's Grande on the outside. You can see how wide he comes, as we just mentioned in this race. He's not going to catch the one Rodriguez down the stretch, but you can watch him here finish this race out pretty nicely. And I think what makes Grande dangerous coming into the Kentucky Derby is that he's bred for this. As we mentioned, Curlin on top. He's tactical, not necessarily a deep closer, not the lead type. And that versatility can find him in a clean trip behind what's expected to be a pretty fast early pace. He's also lightly raced, which could be a blessing or a curse. And we'll have to figure that out. But he is handled by the right team. the question marks. What are the question marks for Grande? He didn't debut until January 11th. That makes him the least experienced horse in the Derby field. He's facing a far tougher group than he saw in the Wood, which was fast but not deep. And it's also worth noting that TODD PLETCHER reportedly plans to only have one-time breeze for Grande heading into the Derby. For a colt that's inexperienced, man, that's a little nerve-wracking. Grande's currently listed at 20-1 on the Derby morning line. Here on the slide here, I have underlined that average mile per hour of 40 in the Wood, and on the bottom right, you can see you can get these right from Racelens, right from Equibase using their GPS notes that he traveled 17 more feet than the winner on that day. He's not among the favorites. He's the kind of horse who makes his sense underneath. Absolutely a use in tries and supers. If the pace meltdown up front and Johnny V works out a clean trip better than he did in the Wood, Grande could quietly be rolling down the center of that track late. The Wood would be a shock. Board hitting performance, probably not unthinkable. He's bred to go the distance. He's got the figures, and he's got a Hall of Fame team. Those are some bullet points that I think you want to take seriously in the biggest race of the year. So let us know in the comments if you think Grande is a horse that you put on top. Is he one you're including in your tickets, or is he one that you want to toss? Stick right here as we continue to roll through all of the contenders for this year's Kentucky